Average pay is now growing faster than the rate of inflation as UK wages grow at 7.8%, and that's despite a slowing jobs market. This is significant because these wage figures have grown at the fastest pace on record in the 3 months to July, despite the backdrop of a weaker jobs market where the rate of unemployment has actually risen slightly, and people getting new jobs has also slowed down. Now, before we get carried away selling the next crisis, I just know that unemployment rise statement is going to make a great headline somewhere and no doubt a good YouTube video title. But just before we get carried away on the selling of bad news, let's talk some facts. Unemployment rose to 4.3% in the 3 months to July, up from, wait for it, 4.2% last month. So when I said it slightly rose, I really did mean just that. Whilst we're on the topic of facts, let's have a look at the numbers behind these wage increases. So the Office of National Statistics has come out and said that annual growth in average pay, now this is excluding bonuses, is 7.8%, the highest rate since they started measuring data in this way, going back all the way to 2001. Total pay, in fact, grew by 8.5%, which takes into account the one-off payments given to NHS workers and civil servants to persuade them off the picket lines and back into work. It is, in fact, how this figure interacts with another metric that is actually the cause for concern: inflation. The Consumer Price Index shows prices rose just 6.8% in the year to July. Who thought we'd be in a world where I'd say the words just 6.8% for inflation figures? Yeah, here we are. So that's lower than the rate of wage growth. Basically, people's earnings are now going up faster than the cost of goods and services. The wage price inflation spiral in full effect. Who's surprised? Well, not me really. This was pretty much inevitable as far as I can tell, and I'm not a crystal ball reader. Oh, sorry, they prefer the term economist. The thing is though, for me, and this probably won't really make the headlines, there is still a great deal of catching up to do before people's earnings will have really caught up with the true effect of the inflation that we've already suffered in the last few years. Wages might be going up now, but we've had crazy inflation figures for a lot longer. I'm still gasping every time I pop into Tesco to buy a few bits and come out 120 quid poorer with 2 half-filled shopping bags. What the Bank of England are most worried about is if we all keep earning more and more, our inflation problem is in danger of becoming embedded and very hard to get rid of. The general consensus of the market is now that they are pretty confident as a result of these figures that the Bank of England will increase interest rates once again next week by 0.25%, giving us a base rate of 5.5%. They are apparently about 80% certain of this, whatever that means. I'll tell you another thing that I bet the government will be discussing behind closed doors as a result of these latest figures. The state pension triple lock. The triple lock means that the state pension has to increase in line with the highest out of inflation, average earnings, or 2.5%. Rishi and chums will be reading these average earning figures and be thinking, surely the triple lock will be under threat now. But it's going to be a brave party that tries to scrap that if they want to stay in power or win an election. Have you had a big pay rise? Does anyone feel better off? Let me know in the comments, please, would you? I prefer to hear what's actually happening in the real world from you guys rather than what the financial press tells me. Sarah Breeden, the Bank of England's incoming Deputy Governor for Financial Stability, blah, blah, what a mouthful that is, when she was asked about the future interest rate rises, said, and I quote, "It is not our intent to cause a recession." Well, Sarah, it may not be your intent, but in order to stop this inflation wage spiral, you might have to.